Hello and welcome everybody to the written events video. My name is Giya, your Vice President of Written Events. Let's get started. The first thing we have on the agenda today is how to find your events guidelines and also a brief overview of those guidelines, an overview of the written paper my team and I wrote last year for ICDC, potential interview questions, and tips for written events. How to find your events guideline. You go to the DECA website, you find your career cluster. My career cluster is business operations research events. You click on that and you scroll down and find your event. My event is finance operations, and located to the right of that is the guidelines. You just click on it and it has your guidelines. All right. So these are my events guidelines, and I will go back and forth between my ICDC paper last year and these guidelines just so you can see them side by side. So all of this is basically just fluff. It's just the basic stuff you'll already know. Y'all can read over it in your own time. So this is this year's topic for business operations research: to research an existing business's website, products, and or services and develop a strategic plan to adopt a hyper-personalization approach. So all the research you do, the interview you do should be centered around this topic. My last year's prompt was something like how COVID affected employee experience. So my paper that I'm about to show you will reflect that topic throughout. So finally, the written entry guidelines. So the title page should include the name of your event, the name of your high school, the school's address, the name of you and or your partners, and the date of the competition. So if you notice that here, we have the name of our business. It doesn't say that, but do include it. The judges need to see who you're writing about. So put that on the top of your paper. This is the name of our event. My partner's and I's name, the day that ICDC happened, our school's name, and our school's address. This is our title page. That's already done. It's not numbered. Next, we have the table of contents. Save one page and finish the rest of your paper and come back to the table of contents. This page is also not numbered. Now we actually get into the actual written paper. So from here on out, you start numbering your papers. So part 1 is the executive summary. That is a 1 to 3 page description of the project. So this is basically a description of our project. I suggest you keep the executive summary part, like do it last. After you finished writing the rest of your paper, come back and do the executive summary, because you'll be able to copy and paste much of the information you already wrote onto this executive summary, and you'll know what to put to. So I suggest keeping 1 to 3 pages blank and just coming back to it. Our executive summary was 2 pages long, and it basically just has the overview of our business, the research methods we use, the findings of those researches, the proposed activities, conclusions, the timeline, and our budget. Next, we have the introductions. So part A is the description of the business, part B is the description of the target market, and part C is an overview of the business and organization's data collection practices. So part A is a description of business or organization. And for this, the best way you can complete this part is you go to your business's website and you click on their like about us or who are we page and kind of pull information from that part to put in this. That's the easiest way you can put it, because nobody can describe the business than the business itself better. Part B is a target market. So who are they targeting, who their clients are, what they do, where they live. That's basically what's in the demographics. And we put that into a nice little graph just for visual purposes. Psychographics, why they come to Global Wealth Advisors, what Global Wealth Advisors has to give to these clients. And part C is based on the prompt. So last year's prompt was about employee experience. That was the whole gist of it. So part C kind of reflects that. It was about how employee experience currently is and what the employees are given if their needs are fulfilled. So that's part C. Part 3 is research methods used in the study. So part A is the description of the research methods, and part B is the process used to conduct the research methods. So again, so these are just the research methods you use, and if you notice, we just copy and pasted this little graphic into our executive summary. That's why I say to do the executive summary last. So part A is a description. So basically, if you see interviewed President Chris Maximovich, that's basically what that is here, and basically what we did and why we did it is written in this description. And make sure you add pictures and graphics. It is so important to make your written paper visually appealing, because nobody wants to read a boring paper. Make sure the judge is engaged throughout your paper. Part B is the process used to conduct the research methods. That's basically it's basically the steps you took to do this research method. So interview with President Chris Maximovich, we met him in the Louisville headquarters. Before we did this, we asked this, and we asked these elaborate questions to understand if we could fix a problem they had. So we're just narrating our steps we did. That's basically all what part B is. Next is part 4, findings and conclusions of the study. Part A, findings of the research study, and part B, conclusions based on the findings. So part A is the findings of our research study. So what we found throughout the research we did and what can be done to improve that. So we have the COVID-19 impacts, training employees, and mental health inclusion. Remember, our prompt was about COVID and how that impacts employee experience. So again, this is basically what we found in each of our research studies. The conclusions based on those findings is, so basically what you concluded based on the research you did. So we concluded that there can be more opportunities for connections, or the communication can be improved, mental health initiatives can be implemented since mental health is a big part of COVID. That's basically all part 4 is. Part 5, a proposed strategic plan. Part A is objectives and rationale of the proposed plan. Part B is the proposed activities and timelines, and part C is the proposed metrics or key performance indicators to measure plan effectiveness. So for that, again, we have our proposed strategic plan. So what our objectives are, what we're working to improve. We have here in a nice little graphic our rationale, basically our goal and what we hope to achieve through this goal. That's basically all this is right here. Part B is the proposed activities. So the activities we propose to help achieve our goal. So group volunteering will help achieve our goal to have more opportunities for connection. And these are just all of our activities. Wellness walks will help mental health, because they do have a beautiful location, and sometimes a walk is good. So these are all our just activities, a timeline. So how often, over what span of time will this be done? It will be your timeline and proposed metrics or key performance indicators to measure plan effectiveness. Basically, what you're going to do to make sure this plan is effective. That's what we're written here. That's what we're writing. Yearly metrics, how we're going to measure to see if this plan we came up with is effective. And we put that in a nice little graph. All right. Part 6 is the proposed budget. So the cost associated with your proposed strategies / activities. So basically, if we go back to our proposed activities, let's say online training, how much money is that going to take? You put that here. So this training is going to cost $509, about $510. These are the single costs, the annual costs, and the total costs. We also asked hypothetically to the business we interviewed what budget they would be okay with, and we kind of put that there and said that President Chris Maximovich has approved our proposed budget. That's basically that. And then the last few is the bibliography. That's just citing your sources, the sources you use, the bibliography, and then the appendix is optional, but we just put an appendix. An appendix is basically the questions you asked in the interview, and we'd had it in a survey. So the questions we asked in the survey and some sample questions we had in one of our research methods. So that's basically the paper. And then we go back and put all of this in our executive summary. As you can see, much of it is copy and pasted. Make sure you add pictures and graphics. It just makes the paper look so much better. Back to our slideshow. So again, this is my written event paper for ICDC. Here are some potential interview questions. So these are the questions we asked. GWA is the name of our business. Just replace that with your business's name. That's that. Next. Okay, written events tip. Interview and research your business thoroughly. Split the work with your partners. I know my partners and I last year, we split the work. We all did. So if it was part one, I'd say, okay, we had 3 partners. I was like, okay, I'll do B. My one partner did A and one partner did part C. So that's that. I really suggest finding some partners to work with. It just makes it go by so much faster and you're less stressed. Set a timeline for you to finish this work. People procrastinate this so much, and it is a lot of work to do within a week of within 1 to 2 days. So do set a timeline. You have so much time to finish this and give a good product. Again, do the executive summary portion last. And I know this is not written on the slideshow, but make sure you have graphics and pictures. That is so important. And it takes up so much space too. If you have any questions, contact us. My email is the first one, patelj1@go.liscnext. You can also contact our other vice president of written events, Ginu G1@go.lisc.net. Her name is also Giya. Don't be afraid to contact us. I know it can be overwhelming and it can get confusing, but that's what we're here for. Thank you so